Evening all, it's Tom Sidney Bushnell, aka Numbers, or Tom Numbers as people like to call me. Thank you for those that are subscribing, following me on Twitter. I've got my locals channel as well, and also my YouTube, the Tom Numbers, well, Site Club Tom Numbers. Anyway, I wanted to share some things that are on my mind, and it's the topic of Trump versus Kennedy for the US election for 2024. I've got some thoughts, feelings, insights, numbers on this, which I wanted to share. And I've chosen this particular area. Very beautiful. Can you see that? So the Isle of Wight in the background. Actually, that's Old Harry Rocks. Old Harry Rocks is 167, and a lot further in the background into the sea is the Isle of Wight, which is 166. Now, the reason I mention both of those is 166 comes to Trump plus Kennedy. So Trump is 88, Kennedy 78. It comes to the White House 166. It comes to the simulation. It comes to the Terminator. It also comes to Scooby-Doo ending. Now, people that will remember the cartoons of Scooby-Doo with Shaggy, Ravi, they'll remember at the end there was always a villain that was unmasked. And the question is, who is the villain? And I'm not saying that it's either Trump or Kennedy. I think another villain, or many villains, will be unmasked. So you'll just have to think further into the future about that. Anyway, so 166, Trump, Kennedy, 166. Scooby-Doo ending, the Terminator, the simulation, and also the Isle of Wight, which I just pointed out. If you take this further, if you do Trump v Kennedy, V is 22, which is MAGA. It's AU, which is atomic number for silver. Sorry, not atomic number, atomic symbol for silver, AU. Not silver, gold. AU is gold, AG is silver. Always used to make me smile when I thought of AG bar, silver bar. Anyway, so AU is 22, MAGA, which is the atomic symbol for gold. But if you do Trump v Kennedy, that comes to 188. 188 comes to, interesting enough, the coronavirus. It comes to President Kennedy. It comes to Close Encounters. It comes to Show Me the Money. It comes to Jesus of Nazareth. If you take this even further, if you do versus, so VS, Trump vs Kennedy, VS is 41, which is USA, which is alien, which is king, which is good, which is fun, which are my initials, TSB. So Trump versus Kennedy, Trump vs Kennedy, is 207. 207 is White Dove Society. And if you drop the 0, you get 27, which is code, which is JFK, which is red, which is the Republican colour. If you do Trump versus is 104, VERSUS. That comes to Jerusalem, comes to Starlink. Trump versus Kennedy comes to 270. 270 actually comes to this year, which is 2023. So I think we're going to start to, well, it's already started, but we're going to see more of Trump versus Kennedy. And I believe they're both on the same team. So in case you haven't worked that out, I believe they're both on the same team, that they're both white hats and they're working for the good of humanity. Because in the past, we've had the illusion of choice, which is you could either choose red or blue. You've got the red pill, the blue pill, but they're the same. I think the red pill in the Matrix is vital. But all these different parties, it's the illusion of choice. Pick one or the other, but they're on the same team. So now I think we're going to see, which will be really interesting, is the two sides from the same team, the White Hats. White Dove. White Dove is 111, which is perfection, illusion, politics, 111. New York, 111. So that's 270, Trump versus Kennedy. So if you take it further, if you do Donald J. Trump, 148, simple gematria, plus Robert F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy's 162, which is Trumpology, which is Trump gematria. I met Ivanka Trump on the 162nd day of the year. 162nd day of the year, which is June 11th. Day 162 is 192. 192 is Ivanka Marie Trump, and I met her behind, well, we took the photograph. Behind us was Del Monaco Plaza, which is 146, which is Ivanka Trump, which is Truth Social, which is New Jerusalem, which is United Kingdom, all those things. So uniting the kingdoms, you know, I think we'll have to unite them all around the world. Excuse me. But if you do Donald J. Trump plus Robert F. Kennedy, so 148 plus 162, that takes you to 310. 310. Now, Ivanka Trump, she did an Instagram post showing what looked to be her taking the jab, and everyone was like, "Oh no, what's that?" But then if you zoomed in, you got this barcode, you got this Q code, which basically was saying, it was basically saying, "Don't do this," effective, something like that. It was ages ago. People will know it in the posts. So that was all optics. But the shot heard around the world. The shot heard around the world is 309. 309. The 309th day of the year is November 5th. And we're always told to remember the 5th of November. But in 2024, the election will be held on November 5th, which is a Tuesday, which is also when President Trump came down the escalators on the 162nd day of the year, 167, which is old Harry Rock's 167, King of the World 167, which was 5 days after I met Ivanka, literally to the day, 5 days after I met her in Manhattan. Manhattan's 92 numbers. Why was I there? It's all part of it. It's actually going to be the 310th day of the year, which is significant because it's on a leap year, and all these crazy things have been happening on leap year. So you had the London Olympics with all that symbology of what was future projected with the coronavirus. I actually had a dream that I wasn't going to go to the Olympics. I didn't. I went to Box Hill. Box is 41 king, Hill is 41 king. Box Hill 82 Portal Soldier. I went and watched the racing, the bike racing. That was the only thing I did with the Olympics. I wanted to go, but I just felt that something was going to happen. Thankfully it didn't physically, but energetically I think it did. Then you had 2016 with the next leap year. All those famous people died. Trump got in power. Brexit happened. Brexit 78, Kennedy. So when people in England and the world kept saying Brexit, 78, they were calling for Kennedy. That's what was happening. And then also Leicester City won the Premier League out of nowhere. They nearly got relegated the year before, won the Premier League, and then they nearly got relegated the next year. And they got relegated this year, actually. So all those crazy things happened in 2016. Then we went to 2020, the next leap year, which was the lockdowns, was the coronavirus. Was the biggest thing that ever happened in any of our lives. The coronavirus 188, close encounters. President Kennedy, Jesus of Nazareth, show me the money, all those things. Okay, so, but if you do, like I said, if you do Donald J. Trump 148 plus Robert F. Kennedy 162, which is Trumpology, Trump Gematria, it comes to 310. So actually November 5th, because it's the leap year in 2024, November 5th, the date that we've been told to always remember, is actually going to take place on the 310th day of the year. And 310 comes to the quantum financial system. It also comes to the creature from Jekyll Island, which is the reverse of the quantum financial system. So you can see how the good and the bad both know the power of these numbers, and they marry up almost identically in so many of these categories. The dark versus the light. Dark to light is 125, time travel. John Kennedy 125. A week to remember is 159. 159 is John Kennedy Jr. John F. Kennedy Jr. There's also, when you spell out 78, which is Kennedy, 78 spelled out comes to 159. 70 is 110, the President, the Christ. Sorry, President, the Christ, magic power. And then 8 is 49, which is yes. So 159, a week to remember. So that takes you to 310. Also, biblically, I've mentioned this before, the last book in the Bible, in the Old Testament, is Malachi. There's a Malachi 3:10. 3:10 is a reference to the quantum financial system. I also think now it's a reference to Donald J. Trump and Robert F. Kennedy, because they come to 3:10. And 5th of November, we've been told to remember. 5th of November is the date of the Emmett Brown 148. Donald J. Trump invented time travel in 1955. November 5th, 1955 comes to 337. 337 comes to Thomas Sidney Bushnell numbers, but it also comes to September 11th. Yeah, it comes to hang on, what does that come to? September the 11th. It does, yeah. Oh, that's what it is. Correction. So it comes to ground zero, September 11th, because November 5th is 143, ground zero, or building 7, 143. And then 1955 is 194, which is September 11th, which is also New Yorker Hotel. Sorry, I had a little bit of a pause there. I'd forgotten what it was. I had it, I couldn't recall it. So yeah, the creature from Jekyll Island, 310, Malachi 310. So Malachi 310, what it does is it describes, in my opinion, the quantum financial system. It talks about the windows of heaven being open, so much so that the people won't have room enough to receive the blessing. Window is 88, Trump. Windows is 107, which is Trump's, which is military, which is quantum, which is currency, which is eternal life, which is Aquarius, which is Superman. It's all those things, 107, and if you drop the 0 in 107, you get 17, which is Q, so it continues. So if you take this further, if you do Donald Trump versus, so VS, Robert F. Kennedy, it comes to 351, which comes to God communicates through numbers, 351. Jesus Christ is the English alphabet, 351. That means A plus B plus C, all the way through to Z, or 1 plus 2 plus 3, all the way through to 26 letter Z. Get them all up in sequence, it comes to 351. Then if you do Donald J. Trump versus is 104, which is Jerusalem, which is Starlink. I was born in Hillingdon. I grew up on a street called Snowden. Both of them are 104. You add them together as 208. 208 is quantum system. 2 beams of light from the towers in New York. But 208 is also my cousin Paul Dennis Bushnell, and he's been a big part of the numbers for people that know my work from a while ago, or continuously. So if you do Donald J. Trump 148 versus, which is 104, that takes you to 252. 252 comes to Christ consciousness, which I think this is all what this is all about. Robert F. Kennedy 162. If you add them together, Donald J. Trump versus Robert F. Kennedy, comes to 414. 414 comes to a super powerful number. It comes to something biblical, and we've been told by Q this is going to be biblical. It comes to the morning of the first resurrection. The morning of the first resurrection. What is the morning of the first resurrection? I believe it's all tied in with all of this. I think we're going to go through a quantum actual change in the world. I think something's going to happen. I can feel into it. I don't know all the pieces of the puzzle, but I see and feel and intuitively sense a lot of things that are coming. But how they're going to do it, I don't know, but I believe it's going to be off the chart, something better than we can possibly imagine. Bearing in mind, Top Trumps, the company Tops, that used to make the Garbage Pail Kids, the bubblegum baseball cards, that's in Manhattan. I first saw that time when I went to Manhattan the first time in 2015 when I met a bunker. Okay, if you just do Batman v Superman, because I've likened this, why did they bring out a film about Batman versus Superman? They're friends, but they're appearing to be enemies. I can't even remember the end of the film, but I need to go and watch it again. So Trump versus Kennedy, they're going to appear to be enemies, but they're friends. They're on the same team. It does even, I know this is all a movie, but even when I hear Kennedy talking about Trump, about the virus and about the vaccines, and going along with some of the measures just for the first period of time, I don't like that, because I defend President Trump, but I also know spiritually that Robert F. Kennedy is of God, and he's talking the truth as well. So we're going to see these two warriors appear to be fighting each other like Batman and Superman, but it's all part of the plan, because Trump doesn't do anything by half measures and he doesn't make mistakes. So he knew that this sticky wicket of the vaccine for him was going to come back. He wants that for a certain reason. I still can't see the full picture, but it's going to expose a lot more people. It's going to destroy certain narratives, and it's going to reveal certain truths. And he'll still come out. He's the top Trump. He'll still come out on top, as will with Kennedy. So they're going to somehow unite at the end of this. So Batman v Superman comes to 180. Batman is 51, which is Jasara, which is great, which is QQQ. We're taking the numbers back. We're one always talks about the spells, and they do it 3 times. Well, and even 17, long time ago, used to be one of their numbers. It's our numbers now. We're taking them back. That's why the White Hats have been trolling. That's why they troll them for the numbers. They get the numbers back. So 51 is great. It's top, as in top trumps. Superman is 107, which is trumps, which is quantum. So if you do Batman Superman, that comes to 158. That's top trumps. But if you add the V, that takes you to 180. So Batman v Superman is actually going to be a complete 180 flip. That's what's going to happen. We're going to see a 180 flip. If you do Robert Kennedy 24, that's 180 as well. And if you do Trump plus Kennedy plus country, which is what they're fighting for, country's 116, Laetitia 116, Thursday 116, Trump plus Kennedy plus country, that comes to 282, which is 88 miles per hour. And then if you do 123, which is where you spell out the word 88, comes to Abraham Lincoln, comes to Eric Trump, comes to gold plus silver, comes to Missouri. That's next. You've got the Twin City of Kansas. That's the Yellow Brick Road. Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz is 176. Back to the Future is 176. But if you do 78, which I mentioned already, 159. That's 78 is Kennedy. 78 is Kennedy. Podcast is 78. Genesis is 78. They say it's going to be biblical. But 78 spelt out is 159. 159 is Joker reversal. So the top trump is the Joker card, the Ace of Spades. Trump's already made reference to that. But also the Kennedys are Jokers. They've got the top cards. That's why they've united. But 78 is 159, which also comes to the Chinese elders. We forget about them. They're going to come in with the funds, along with others, I believe, that will pump the funds into humanity to bring down the blessings of heaven, the 310, the Malachi 310 prophecy. So anyway, so 88 spelt out plus 78 spelt out is 123 plus 159, which comes to 282, which comes to 88 miles per hour. Again, the first time jump in Back to the Future happens on, it happens on October 26th. That was the day I flew to Hawaii last year, actually, which is October is 78 Kennedy. October 26th is 265 in numbers when you spell it out. But they land on November 5th, 1955. So Marty goes back in time and he lands in November 5th. November 5th is the date of the election. So 282 is 88 miles per hour. When I met Eric Trump 123, 88. When I did the numbers on Eric Trump and Tom Numbers, because Tom Numbers is 159, which comes to 78. Spell out the word 78, which comes to Kennedy, which comes to the Chinese elders, which comes to John F. Kennedy Jr. That also comes to 282. So my picture with Eric. When I met him, I had the 88 miles per hour t-shirt, and it came to 282. Eric Trump and Tom Numbers comes to 282, which is 88 miles per hour. Okay, take it a little further, people. 88 miles per hour is, so if you say 88 miles per hour is, just 88 miles per hour is, that comes to 310. 310 is the day of the election, November 5th, on the leap year, 310. And if we take it a little further, so you've been told by Q to watch the water. Water is 67, which is exchange, which is reset. It's also some other things, but I'll leave that for the moment. But 27 is red, which is the Republican colour, which is JFK, which is code. Blue is 40. 40 is RV. US is 40, blue. What happens when you add 27 plus 40? You get 67, which is water. So when you add red plus blue, that comes to 67, which is water, which is reset, which is exchange. If you actually do it colorifically, that's not the correct word, but if you add the two colors together, you blend blue with red, you'll get purple. I mentioned it on the show with Mark the other day. I've been telling him for ages, and he fed it back to me as though he discovered it, but at least he's learning, so thank you, Mark. But you blend blue plus red, comes to 88, which is Trump, which is 88, which is 88 miles per hour again. 88 Scotland, Edinburgh 88, 88 plus 88 is 176, which is Back to the Future, which is Donald J. Trump, Jr., which is his son, Junior. Watch the water. Watch is 55. 55 is JFK, JR. Melania, Heaven. Watch the water. The is 88. It's 33, sorry. So watch the is 88, which is Trump. So watch the water. So basically Trump water is 155. 155 is the millennium. It's also coronavirus. I've also said before that coronavirus, I believe, fully was a White House operation. It was a narrative that they took the playbook off of what was going to happen, but they made it far less impactful so they could do their job and show people without too much damage of what was going to go on. So people had to wake up, because this is a spiritual conscious war. It's also singularity. People freak out about that, but I think there will come a point which is a good singularity. If there's a bad one, I think there's going to be a good one as well. Is that fair? There's an AI singularity, but there's also a consciousness, the Great Awakening, a good AI, a good singularity, I feel. So if you do the millennium, coronavirus, singularity, 155, plus 127, which is the Ace of Spades, you can actually represent November 5th. If you do November, which is 94, which is John, which is Ace of Spades, and then you do 5TH, 5 plus TH, that's actually 33. So 5, T is 20, H is 8, so it's 28, plus the 5, that's 33, which is Dawn, which is magic, which is which is gate. So November gate, or November magic, or November dawn, comes to 127, which is the Ace of Spades. So if you do watch the water plus the Ace of Spades, 155 plus 127, tying you back to November 5th, that comes to 282 again, which is 88 miles per hour, which is the date of all of this. I think that we'll see some serious shit, as Emmett Brown says. And then, as I said before, 167 is Old Harry Rocks, which is over that side. And it's the day that President Trump came down the escalators. And if you do day 167, that takes you to 197. 197 comes to Diana Spencer Trump, which comes to Every Last Secret, which comes to the 5th of November, 197. Back to the Future is 176, which is November the 5th. If you do 5th of November, it's 164, which is the mothership, as in the New Jerusalem, the mothership. But if you do 197, the 5th of November, it's 197, Every Last Secret. We showed that picture with Diana holding up the book behind Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone's 243. 243 is John F. Kennedy, eternal flame. Diana, quote unquote, died, went into witness protection on day 243 of the year, which was August 31st. August 31st comes to 261, which comes to November 26th, 261. Sorry, November 22nd, 261. The United States of America, 261. The Project Looking Glass, 261. Best event is yet to come, 261. Oh, when President Trump says the best is yet to come, it's 228. I think it's a date, but there's also, as a reference to him, it's Donald J. Trump Sr. We don't usually refer to him as senior because there's a junior, but he's senior. So Donald J. Trump Sr. Senior is 80, which is Spencer. That comes to 228. The best is yet to come. Old Harry Rocks 167, yeah, 167. The day that President Trump and Melania came down the escalators and did the first piece of gematria with currency exchange above their heads. Currency exchange is 174, trust the plan 174. Real Donald Trump 174, that's his Twitter handle and his Truth Social handle. Luke Skywalker 174. Anakin Skywalker is 175, which is Diana Francis Spencer. It goes on and on and on. Millennium Wheel, which looks like a queue on the banks of the River Thames, 175. Houses of Parliament 217, Lady Diana Francis Spencer. River Thames is Donald Trump 138. It goes on and on and on, you know. So Old Harry Rocks 167, Water Reversal 167, Exchange Reversal, Exchange Time Machine 167, comes to, I'd also say at this point 167 is a satanic reversal, because that's got to happen. I think that's been happening. That's 167, but 167 comes to immortal event. I believe we're going to see something which is an immortal event. All events, I guess, technically are immortal, but I think we're going to see something out of the ordinary with what's coming. Immortals 101, which is Old Harry. Durdle Door around the corner is also 101. Melchizedek is 101, and that's a big thing in religion and tarot and other belief systems. So this is my closing thought on this. So if you get out, there's a date and time calculator online where you can work out dates. You can plug in a start date and a finish date, and you can get the number of dates and months that have occurred. So if you go back to 16th June 2015, the day that President Trump came down the escalators, 5 days after I met Ivanka. I didn't know he was going to be announced president, but I was there in Manhattan. I may have even flown out that day, but I met her 5 days before, and I got activated by her through the numbers, tied in with the death of my cousin Paul. His date of birth was 118, 118. I met two people with the same date of birth. One might have even been 119, which is Nikola Tesla, but I met a third one which definitely had 118. Anyway, it triggered a thought. I felt that Paul was communicating to me. He just recently died. I meet Ivanka, I get activated. I see the numbers talking to me, but I didn't work out the alphanumeric relationship until 2020, when I started studying Diana, President Trump, and the Kennedys and Q, and it all just came like a waterfall of a download of information, like three PhDs in about 3 weeks, really. So I'm very grateful and blessed for it. Anyway, so if you go back to Tuesday, June 16th, 2015, President Trump comes down the escalators with Melania to announce his candidacy for president. If you fast forward to the next significant, well, there's been other significant Tuesdays, but for the point of this, the next significant Tuesday, which will be November 5th, 2024, President Trump has said that the final battle is 2024. Chronicles of Narnia, the final battle. Excuse me, who's the magician's nephew? I'll talk about that on another video. I think there's a couple of magician's nephews, but we'll look into maybe even 3. So Tuesday, June 16th, 2015, fast forward all the way into the future, Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. Guess how many days there are between those two dates? 3,430 days. Now in gematria, if you drop, sometimes you can drop the 0. So if you drop the 0, it comes to 343. 343 comes to President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, 343. It also comes to the New Jerusalem, the mothership. The New Jerusalem is 179. Ivanka Trump's 146, New Jerusalem. The New Jerusalem is referred to as the Dove. The Dove is 79. New Jerusalem is 117. Well, the New Jerusalem is 179, but it's referred to as the mothership as well. The mothership is 164. Mothership is 131, which is John F. Kennedy. So if you do the mothership 164 plus the New Jerusalem 179, that comes to 343. Some people have even said to me, called me Mark, an apostle. Apostles 88, Trump's 88, Mormons 88, Doctrines 88. Even Mark there is 76, Thomas, the Thomas Apostle, Mark the Apostle is 164. I don't know. Anyway, a few people shared that with me ages ago, but the numbers, they're useful. It comes to Jack Edward Aitken Kidd, it comes to Right Side Blonde 164. There's a few that have got this significant number of 164, which also comes to 5th of November 164. Anyway, so the New Jerusalem, the mothership, is 343. President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, 343. It also takes you back to 313. 313 is the portrait in Mar-a-Lago in President Trump's library. Library's 85, Awakening, Storm, Matrix, Silver. I was there on November 13th, 2021. Did a little video. Saw him walk past out coming off the golf course. Mar-a-Lago 68. Winter White House is 222, 1,000 years of peace. Wyndham New Yorker's 222, 1,000 years of peace. Wyndham's 88. Trump. It all comes back on itself. Anyway, so 343. Yeah, the painting. It's called The Visionary. Visionary's 165, Resurrection. The Visionary is 198. Sorry, Visionary's 132. JFK Jr. is alive. 132, Princess Diana. The Visionary is 165, which is Resurrection. Other physics, that's how I believe it will be done, through other physics, Tesla physics, divine high dimensional physics, and maybe pure on the money, on the nose, God physics, divine physics, our higher selves physics. And then Donald J. Trump, 148. Time traveler, the American way to say it. Simple gematria, 148. So the visionary, Donald J. Trump, comes to 313. 313 comes to two people. It comes to John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr. And it also comes to Robert Francis Kennedy Jr. 313. Who's the magician's nephew? We'll talk about that in the future. Or who are the magician's nephews? But day 313 is 343. And 343 takes you bang on to that date of November 5th. It's the morning of. It goes from the 309 into the morning on the 310, the morning of the first resurrection, 414. Anyway, there's so many more things I could say about this, people, but I think I'll leave it at that. If you like this video, give it a retweet, a thumbs up. If you want to support my work, go to my locals channel. A lot of my videos for the News with Tom numbers 261, you get that first there, and that's a subscription service. And you can also go to YouTube and see my videos there. But I'm putting out unique ones here on Twitter. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put unique ones on Twitter, unique ones on locals, and unique ones on YouTube. I think that's how I'm going to do it. I'll see. Just figuring all of this out. But I'm enjoying Twitter because Twitter's I am Twitter is 138. The Bluebird Motel in Back to the Future. Donald J. Trump, Elon Musk Bank 138. the Saviour 138, revaluation 138, the gold reset 138. All right, everyone, much love, God bless, and I'll speak soon.